Power rankings week 6. Week 6, I believe. Look, the NFL right now is a disaster. All right. Touchdowns are down across the league. Scoring is down across the league. Unders are hitting at like 60-something%. Underdogs are coming through at like 56%. The league is in complete turmoil. No one knows up. No one knows down. My power rankings will reflect that this week because teams are getting slapped up. What is good is no longer good. What was once bad is now good. All right, we don't know who to trust. Quarterbacks. I thought I could trust Tom Brady. Get him out of here. Just get him out of here. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo, the 49ers, all of a sudden now there's 15 injuries. How am I supposed to put this team in the top 10? I'm not even sure who the starters are for them anymore. Get them out of here. All right. What's going on now? The Rams. Where are the Rams? The Rams down here. Matt Stafford, Super Bowl champions. Get them out of here. They can't do nothing. The Finns keep losing. What quarterback am I going to get? Skylar Thompson, Tua, Teddy? Absolutely no clue. Tennessee sucks. I mean, they've won like 2 or 3 in a row, and they still suck. Matt Ryan and Indy, get out of my face. Atlanta actually is kind of a surprise story, but they're 3-3, and they're tied somehow for first in the division. The Cardinals are one of the worst teams in the league. The Panthers are one of the worst teams in the league. I'll go ahead and tell you this. Cliff Kingsbury will be fired before my next power rankings video. Go ahead and write that down. That is a guarantee from me. So let's get to the actual list. So this is last week, okay? I'm getting ahead of myself. This is last week with the Bucks and the Niners. So let's look at what happened. Philly dominates Dallas. Granted, it's Cooper Rush, okay? It's Cooper Rush's last start, so Cooper Rush is no longer a thing in Dallas. Philly dominates, but lets Dallas kind of come back at the end there, Ray J style. The Chiefs fall to the Bills in the regular season. The Bills obviously beat the Chiefs, do very well, very great, very good game. A little low scoring, but still a good game. The Bucks lose in Pittsburgh. I mean, what are we doing here? Mitchell Trubisky dominates Tom Brady. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The 49ers, like I said, tons of injuries. What am I supposed to do here? I still think they're a really good team, but I'm starting to get pinned to a corner, and no one puts baby in a corner. Dallas loss, but lost to the number 1 team in the NFL and with the backup quarterback, so I'm not too upset about it. Baltimore keeps losing. Get them out of my face. Minnesota, they keep proving me wrong. Every single week I come on here and say Minnesota is not that good. And then what happens, I'm not even sure why I'm wearing these headsets. There's no music. There's nothing being played. I don't need to be wearing the headphones. Minnesota every single week comes in. I say they're trash. I say Kirk Cousins sucks. And then they win. So I'm going to have to keep putting them higher and higher and higher. The Giants, same thing. I know the Giants aren't good. All right. I know the Giants aren't good. I know Brian Daboll's a good coach. I know Daniel Jones sucks. They're 5-1. All right. That somehow Daboll has them moving. Somehow Daboll has them, looking at a 2 seed here. Then we have the Chargers. They get a win against the Broncos, who honestly may be the worst team in NFL history. My God, Russ is cooking. Broncos Nation, let's ride. So let's go ahead and let's move some stuff around. All right. Let's go back here to the Bucks. Here's the thing with the Bucks. I think the Bucks are good. I think Tom Brady's good. I know the Bucks are good. I know Tom Brady's good. What I don't know is how much of Tom Brady is in Tampa. How much of his mind is there? Because it's, I came on here and said controversially yet brave. I said, look, I think him getting a divorce might be good because it gets the distractions away, it gets it over with, and he can fully focus on football and fully focus on a chip on his shoulder. And Tom Brady with a chip on his shoulder is a very dangerous thing. Then all of a sudden this week, he takes Wednesday off, which is usual. He usually gets Wednesdays off. Then Thursday, he flies up to Bobby Kraft's wedding, which happy nuptials to the newlyweds. I think he's about 85 years old and his wife's like 47. So he knows how to pick them. And then he's up there, I believe Friday night, flies privately separate from the team to get to Pittsburgh, misses walkthrough, and then plays Sunday, and they get beat by Pittsburgh. Look, I don't care how good you are. If you're 40-something years old and you're missing, basically you're not even practicing, you're showing up in your own vehicle, you're showing up private plane, driving up separate from the team. I don't care how good you are. That is not a recipe for success. Until the Buccaneers prove that they are one team, until they prove that they're one solidified unit, that Tom Brady is actually involved in this, that Tom Brady wants to be here playing football until they do that. And let's talk about Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles went from Mr. Run the Ball every single down to all of a sudden now they don't run it at all. Somehow they cannot get the run game going. He's completely flipped a switch. He's watching too many of my damn videos. I got to break up with the Bucs right now. Okay, so Frisco's going off until we get some injuries coming back. All right, so these teams remain. Now we're going to change something up top here. Look, between me, you, and the camera, I think Kansas City is better than Buffalo. And if the playoffs were tomorrow, I'd be betting on Kansas City. But I'm an honorable man, an ethical man, if nothing else. I have to respect Buffalo going into Arrowhead and getting the job done. So kudos to them. Doesn't matter long term. No, but then again, these rankings really don't matter long term either. Okay, so Dallas loses, but again, good performance, and they're getting Dak back, so they're going to stay in the top 10. Minnesota keeps rising. Let me go ahead and bust out my list. I write it down just so I'm not messing stuff up here. So we're going to go ahead and move the Vikings to 4. Okay, they won. They were the highest in the top 10, so they jump all the way to 4, which makes me sick to my stomach. The Giants win, and they're the next highest winner, so they jump to 5. The New York Giants at 5. Are you kidding me? Then the Chargers jump. Okay, the Chargers are the next team that win and were on the list, so they jump and they win a divisional game, prime time. Albeit, God, it took a lot to win that game. All right, so this is where we're sitting, and then the Cowboys then become the next team. I don't drop them too much because they did lose to the best team in the NFL with a backup quarterback. So this is your new top 7. Okay, so this is the new top 7, and we're going to go ahead and fill in the bottom here. So I was in the Dome, watched the Bengals. The Bengals have struggled, but the Bengals somehow are in an okay situation, right? They struggled early. They didn't look that great. They dropped some games that at the time we thought were really bad, and now they don't look that bad, right? Like the Dallas game. So Cincinnati is kind of coming into some form here. Joe Burrow's kind of picking his thing up. And when you have a quarterback that's playing that good or can play that good and pieces around them, I have a lot more faith in Cincinnati to put things together than like Indianapolis to figure it out. So Cincinnati is going to go to number 8 here. Number 9, the Patriots did this last year. The Patriots did this exact same thing last year. And people were thinking, man, are the Patriots the best team in the NFL? And then they kind of fell off. Bill Belichick might be the best whenever chips are down, backs against the wall, and he's got to figure something out. Think about the weather game with Buffalo, right? Where they won with Mac Jones completing like 3 passes. Stuff like that, that's when he's the best. And right now he's got Bailey Zappi. He's got all that kind of stuff happening. He's got people doubting him. I'm not even sure who the hell is calling plays. That's when Belichick is the man. Now, does that translate to sustained postseason success with these kind of teams? Can he do it that long? Probably not. But as far as a middle of the season kind of situation, he's really, really good at that. The defense is playing well. Zappi's playing well. Word on the street is, ladies and gentlemen, that Mac Jones could have a little bit of competition. Mac Jones could have some competition when he comes back, so he better get it together. Word on the street is he needs to humble himself, and then him and the Patriots are a little sideways. So Bailey Zappi, look, Belichick is not afraid to go with the hot hand. I think it might be a little too early to be bailing on Mac Jones, but Zappi has played good. And then, my God, the New York freaking Jets. The New York Jets. Now, it's interesting because I thought in the offseason, this Zach Taylor thing might work out beneficial to the Jets. It might be one of those bonding things, and as dudes locker room talk as it sounds, it may have given Zach, what do I call him, Zach Thomas? Did I call him Zach Thomas? Zach Wilson. There's no telling what name I said. I may have said Zach Taylor. I may have said Zach Thomas. I meant Zach Wilson. It gave Zach Wilson a little bit of that, like, it humanized him, I think, in the locker room. It made the locker room leaders. It made those guys kind of respect him or kind of like able to joke with him. You know, they went through something. He wasn't this like polished rookie anymore. He was kind of one of the guys. Now, look, don't throw your MAGA hats at me. Okay, I'm just telling you what I see. It looks like the Jets are kind of playing free and kind of playing fun. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the Jets. This top 10 is the hardest top 10 for me because I do not think these teams are very good. I mean, straight up. Like if you told me, all right, if you told me Philly's good, Buffalo's good, Kansas City's good, I think these three teams can win the Super Bowl. I don't think any of these other teams can win the Super Bowl besides maybe Cincy, and only because Cincy almost did it last year. I don't like for this to be the year that Dallas made a real run would be crazy. I mean, granted, Dallas's defense is really, really good, and if Dak can just be a better version of Kirk Cousins, I mean, maybe Dallas is a top 4, top 5-ish team. Maybe Dallas is a threat. But then it's Mike McCarthy. Like, there's a lot to that. You know what I mean? So let's just for funsies. All right, just for funsies, I'm gonna put on the right side here. I'm gonna put teams that I think will finish in the top 10. I think Frisco is a top 10 team. I think Tampa's a top 10 team. I think Baltimore could be a top 10 team. I think Green Bay could probably be a top 10 team. I think, and that's probably about it. Maybe Miami. Tennessee would be my next one. Indy would probably be. Oh, that's the Browns. Indy and the Browns. So let's just throw all these teams up here. So let's really look at this. Okay, let's really look at some things here. Let's look at the standings and everything. Let's really talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's break down exactly what I'm looking at. So let's look at this. So in your American, I've been watching a little too much baseball. In the AFC East, Bills are on the top 10, Jets on the top 10. The Dolphins, and this is something I look at too, is differential, right? So if there's a team like the Titans, who are 3-2 atop the division, but in minus 22 differential, then I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna have to hard pass, right? But then if there's a team like, San Francisco, who's 3-3 atop the division, injured, and has a plus 33 differential, then I'm thinking maybe they're a lot better than people give them credit for. So the teams that we expected to be good that are not good right now. Tampa, plus 18 differential. They're still top of the division, so they're always going to be there. Green Bay, 3-3, second in the division, but they're minus 16 in differential. I'm selling Green Bay stock. And we can get to them in a minute. Okay, so the NFC East, all pretty solid here. These three teams are doing the damn thing. What are you gonna do? The AFC West, Kansas City, good. Chargers 4-2, won last night against Denver. They're minus 11. I've got a lot of questions here. I got a lot of questions about the Chargers. Granted, we haven't seen Keenan Allen. We haven't seen that kind of stuff. And it does. And one of their losses is to Kansas City. So if they're playing a different opponent, this could be a 5-1 team. We talked about the South, AFC North. So here's something to remember with the North. So the North's kind of compact. Cleveland is trying to steady the ship because Cleveland gets Deshaun Watson, correct? So if Cleveland can position themselves to be in the driver's seat for the division by the time Deshaun Watson gets back, and if Deshaun Watson plays at his level, which we should assume he will, then all of a sudden you're looking at this and you're like, damn, the Browns would be really dangerous if they win this division. All right, so let's go back to this list. So out of these are the teams right here, and we're kind of going on a sidebar here. We're gonna have a discussion. These are the teams that I think could win the Super Bowl, or maybe not could win the Super Bowl, but these are probably your playoff teams. I mean, we got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I think there are 18. Is there 18 teams now in the playoffs with the new wild card thing? Let's just say for argument's sake, there's 18. Is there 17 or 18? I guess it has to be 18. But I believe this is probably your batch right here. The Cardinals on the bottom, like the Cardinals are terrible. The Falcons are a good story, but they won't get there. The Panthers are terrible. Bears are terrible. Broncos are terrible. And they're in a really good division. Detroit's terrible. Houston's terrible. Jacksonville could make noise just because their division is so bad. Someone's got to win the South. The Rams, kind of the same as Jacksonville, where, San Francisco's faltering, so maybe the Rams could sneak back in there. Raiders, no, they have one win. They're in a really good division. Saints, no. Steelers, no. Seahawks, no. Washington, no. So, yeah, I mean, this is about right. This is about what you're looking at here, with Jacksonville and LA being like the only two exceptions. So at the end of the year, I think for sure, I'd be comfortable saying Philly, Buffalo, KC, Minnesota will be in there. I think the Chargers could be in there. I think Frisco, Tampa, and probably Baltimore would be teams that replace. I think New England could fall out. The Jets could fall out. I think the Giants will fall out. So I think right now, if I'm looking at like a long-term top 10, if I'm buying stock in three teams that currently aren't in there, it's San Fran, Tampa, and Baltimore. And they're going to get rid of some of these guys right here. Some of the Jets will be the Jets, the Giants will be the Giants, and the Pats just don't have enough long-term, I don't think. But right now, look, you got to give credit where credit's due right now. Right now, this is your top 10 teams in the NFL. Right now, and sometimes it's like this. Sometimes we're in the middle of the year or in the early stages of the year, the early quarter, however you want to phrase it. Sometimes it's not about who is the best team or who is the most talented team, but it's more about who's not beating themselves. And I think you're seeing a lot of beating yourselves. 13-year-old home alone, and the parents are out for dinner kind of situations. Like it's just too much bad coaching, too much bad quarterbacking, too many injuries. And these teams are just doing the simple things. New York is doing the simple things. The Giants actually have come back the last couple of games. So this is probably the most volatile list we've had, but it is what it is. And I trust my power rankings. So this is your week 6, or going into week 7. We have seen, however you want to phrase it. This is your after week 6 power rankings, top 10. This is me. This is what life is all about. I am 100% right. No other power ranking list even compares. Thank you for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen.